Revelation 11, verse 14. The second woe is past. And behold, the third woe cometh quickly. Call her lawyer Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Rakakadash, double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, rule well and teach well. Shalom to the whole like men that scattered abroad, pushing the truth with all sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth. And also shalom to you very few sincere sisters, right? And the brother I'm one coming to the video, Lord, when it's edifying, right? And just, straight to the point, right? It's been a beautiful week, man, right? According to prophecy. A lot of moves have been made. I remember, I forgot who posted the quote, but 1,000 years, nothing can happen. In a decade, nothing, dang, I forgot how the quote go. Right? Brothers may know what I'm saying about on a decade, nothing can happen, you know. But in that small time, a whole decade worth of things can happen. Something like that to the point, to that effect. But hey, the thing is, hey, things are moving, man. Right? So we also see the book of Matthew 24, right? It's unfolding, right? We're getting real close to that time of our deliverance, Lord willing. We're part of that remnant, right? But we're seeing these things come by real fast. So this right here is the article from BreakingDefense.com. And it says Operation Midnight Hammer, how the U.S. conducted surprise strikes on Iran, right? And it's not going to be a long lesson, just bringing out, some small points, right? Because it says Midnight Hammer, right? And that's how we also know what is Babylon is inside the scriptures. So that's a key word, Midnight Hammer, right? Excuse me. So they put the hammer on them folks. Well, like they do with everybody else, But Operation Midnight Hammer, how the U.S. conducted surprise strikes on Iran, right? So if you, watching the news, not necessarily my page, but you've been watching the news, you would have seen that the U.S., has destroyed 3 of the Iran nuclear, stations, right? So, they have pretty much then got drawn into it, right? So we know now, with that being said, right? Matter of fact, we're going to get to it, but at least the flock going to draw them out, right? Right, so with them with Iran and Israel going at it, hey, America has to defend Israel, man. So they're going to get drawn into the battle, right? And what else is going to happen? China, Russia, all his allies are going to join in on that party, right? And that's how you're going to get it, man. That's why, it said, let the weak say I'm strong, right? Because not going to be in that spirit. They're going to be in that spirit to where they're able to fight, right? Because why they got big bros, right? Like China, Russia, right? Supplying them with artillery. So this is a beautiful time, right? Scriptures talk about that. Blessed is he that see the fall of his enemy, Read some of this and I'm go to the scriptures. Slacking. It says operation included more than 125 U.S. aircraft, dozens of aerial refueling tankers, a guided missile submarine, and approximately 75 precision-guided weapons. It says, look at this, a picture of the B-2. All right. So it says, Washington hours after the U.S. conducted a surprise significant military operation against 3 Iranian nuclear sites. It says top defense officials unveiled, right? Unveiled pretty much, showing you, right? It says unveiled the details, right? Pretty much showing you the details. What the Pentagon called Operation Midnight Hammer, which involved 7 B-2 bombers, and the first known operational use of a 30,000-pound bunker buster bomb. Damn, that's heavy, right? So they really did some work. They did some damage. And we know, hey, the thing is, you're not gonna discredit America, right? America got that shit, right? He got this name for a reason, Hammer of the Earth, right? But it's just when you got to go against the whole world, right? You're not gonna be able to win at the same time, beating them all. That's like 30 folks versus 1. You're not gonna be able to beat all 30 folks, right? Now 1-on-1, America with the shits, but not 30. You know, so hey, America got that shit, man, right? Hey, scripture say, hey, he's the hammer of the earth, right? He Job 9:24, the earth is given to the hands of the wicked, right? I'm gonna read these little paragraphs right here, where that's really it. Yeah. I just want to grab a couple little scriptures, and that's it. It says the president authorized a precision operation to neutralize the threats to our national interests posed by the Iranian nuclear program and the collective self-defense of our troops and our ally Israel. Defense Secretary Pete Hex told reporters today, while chairman of the Joint Chiefs Dan Kang said a battlefield assessment is ongoing to evaluate the strikes. Hex called it an incredible and overwhelming success. Right, so hey, like I said, you know, we're in that time of Matthew 24, man. Right, because the Lord tells us, hey, don't get dismayed by these things, because why? We know more things, but has to come. But right now, we at the, you know, like we always say, discerning the times, right? You judging the time, you measuring it according to the prophecy, right? You're looking for these checkpoints, right? So now we had a real good checkpoint where we know it's a check mark, you know, and that next one will be what? Jacob's trouble, the MOTB, you know, right? But going to that midnight hammer, like I said, you know, you want to remember that midnight hammer. Now we're gonna go to the scriptures of Jeremiah. Chapter 50. I think it was 22. Starting at 22. Right. Right. Matter of fact, let me grab, is it 49? Is it 49 and Lisa the Flock. Yeah, that's what it was, Lisa the Flock. Give me one moment. I'm catching a whole bunch of the phone at. Dang, throwing me off off my rocker, right? It's like you. What was verse 20? Yeah, there you go. It's verse 20. So like you. Because I was thinking about 50 as well. Right? Right, so Jeremiah 49 and 20, it says, therefore at the counsel of the Lord Yahweh, he that hath taken against Edom, and his purpose that he have purpose against the inhabitants of Teman. It says, surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Surely he shall make them their habitation. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Surely he shall make their habitation desolate with them. Right, and that main thing I wanted to speak on was like I said last night, you know, you have these two small parties, right? These two small, you know, I guess you could say peons when it comes to artillery, right? Excuse me. Right, they get into it and they call bigger dudes in, you know, for to help them fight, right? So now that Israel hit Iran came back and hit Israel, right? So you had U.S. come in and try to so-called make peace with about just tearing up Iran, saying, you know, that it should be peace now, you know. Well, hey, you have the Iranian leader, right? He just touched down in China. You know, matter of fact, I have that clip too. He touched down in China to meet up with President Xi Jinping.
Has arrived next week, where more of
right? Because look at the China, Russia. Those are big leaders, right? They have weapons, man.
would also be signed as far as areas that are concerned important sectors such as railways, manufacturing, education, and also as far as the ecosystem like I said earlier. But yes, it's important to also difficult to recall this entire difficult to revive this entire.
Too much on that. It's just him, just walking to the car. He just touched down in the city. But the point is, with that being said, right? Since America then stuck his nose into it, right? Now, this Iran know he can't beat America, so what he do? He goes back and sit down with some bigger bosses, China and Russia, right? In which they are gonna, they're gonna, be on the same side as Iran, right? But that's where we at with it, man. Right. So going back to that, Lisa the Fox will draw them out, right? Now let's go back to Jeremiah 50. I'm over just one. It was Jeremiah 50, 22. It's like I already passed. Excuse me. It's like, so with that being said, we know that America's gonna get toe up, man. Just by sticking their nose, they should have stayed out of it, man. Right, it says, Jeremiah 15:22, a sound of battle is in the land and of a great destruction. How is the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken? How has Babylon become a desolation among the nations? Because look what America does. He goes to everybody's house, right? It says he's a keeper. He's not a keeper. He's a keeper, not at home. Roughly paraphrasing, I think it's in the book of Habakkuk, too. It's like, I just want to get it for myself. Make sure I'm saying the right thing. Yeah, verse 5, it says, yes. It says, yeah, also, because he transgressed by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home. That's what it was. He neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied, but gather unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. Right, and that's him. He wants the whole world to itself. He wants to be selfish, stingy, right? And these other nations are tired of that, man. Right, so they're ready to get some get back. That's how it's gonna be desolate, right? They tired of getting bullied. They tired of getting drunken by that wine, right? The philosophies, man. Right, you seen how it was when Brittany Griner had got stuck over there. I think it was Russia, right? All that most stuff wasn't flying over there, man. She was locked up just by being that. And hey, like I said, these nations, they tired of that. They tired of being drunken by the ways of America, man, right? Being bullied, right? So that's why all these nations are going to what? Eventually, nuke this place, right? Revelation, I think the 9th chapter and 16th verse, right? But it says, how was the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder, right? So just going back to the article, it says the hammer of the earth, right? What did America just drop? Operation Midnight Hammer, right? They know who they are, right? So they dropped the hammer out there in Iran, right? Scripture talk about same thing. How was the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken, right? Because, like I said, all these nations are finna to turn against America, man. Why? Because, like I said, they're always bullying. How has Babylon become a desolation among the nations, right? It says, I have laid a snare for thee, and thou art also taken, O Babylon, and thou was not aware. Thou art found and also caught, because thou hast striven against the Lord. It's like the Lord have opened his armory and have brought forth the weapons of his indignation, right? We know the Lord's army is really going to those ICBMs. That's a part of those army as well. For this is the work of the Lord of hosts in the land of the Chaldeans. Come against her from the uttermost border, open her storehouses, cast her up as heaps, and destroy her utterly. Let nothing of her be left, right? And we know that 200 million missiles is supposed to hit America, man, to the point where it will be left desolate. So like it. So I just want to go into that. So yeah, just the main point was really in 23 about how it's correlating this right here to the hammer of the earth and to the operation that they just pulled. Lets you know that Babylon is America, man, right? And they're gonna be cut off from all the nations. Why? Because look, it was nothing to do with Israel and Iran. They wasn't supposed to get into it, but since they did, That's what's gonna really make this World War III, come to pass. Not now, but real soon. So I'm gonna leave it off on this right here in the book of Matthew 24, just let you know where we at within prophecy. Right, because we have one major prophecy that has to come in before this prophecy. And now I start at verse 3. Matthew 24:3. And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, Tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of thy coming and of the end of the world? And Yahweh shall answer and said unto them, Take heed that no man deceive you, for many shall come in my name, saying, I am Hamashiach, and shall deceive many. And ye shall hear of wars, right? The point. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars, right? Because we hearing of a war right now, right? And folk putting in work right now, right? And rumors of wars, right? What are the rumors about to hear? We're hearing the rumors of what? World War III. All because America has jumped in and helped, right? So it says, See that ye be not troubled, for these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet, right? This right here is going to come to pass, right? So it's going to, like I said, it's going to escalate, right? But it got to come down just a little bit before you can squeeze the MOTB in, Verse sound. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdoms, right? This is where we at. And there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. All these are the beginning of sorrows, right? This is only the beginning. It's about to get ugly, evil and only evil, right? So, just another video of blowing the horn. Matter of fact, let me, I had briefly spoke on it, right? Just going into the point of why, the Iran leader going to, China, meeting up with China, meeting up with Russia, I want to go into that right quick. Finish off on this. It says, Joel chapter 3, verse 9. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war. Right, going back to the book of Ecclesiastes 3 and 8. Right, we're in that time of war. Right, it said, what the Lord said, He gonna muster the minds of the Medes. Stir up the minds of the Medes. Right, we're really gonna be the Russians today. Right, all these nations gonna be in that war spirit, man. It says, prepare war, wake up the mighty men, and let all the men of war draw near. Let them come up, beat your plowshares into swords, and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. Right? That's all he doing. That's all the Iranian leader doing, going to sit down, with Xi Jinping and Putin. Right? Hold on, man. Hey, man, y'all got to supply me with something. They want their lick back. Let the weak say I'm strong. So real soon you're going to see these small nations ready for battle. So that's all in this lesson. And I just want to Lord Williams edifying, right? But just to correlate, this midnight hammer, it really just nailed it, put the nail in the coffin that this is Babylon, man. So Lord Williams was edifying. I'm gonna give out honor, glory, and praise to Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai Shem Krakadash, and on to the next one. Shalom.